The Crane Room is a restaurant. The Crane Room is a bar. The Crane Room is a banquet facility. The restaurant will please you time after time with their diverse menu. Ask about their daily specials. See the menu at craneroom.com. The bar gives you an abundance of choices with 35 beers on tap and always changing. Their banquet services are always to perfection. The Crane Room, located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553. InfoCision has been giving job seekers career opportunities for the past 30 years. 150 positions are needed to be filled as soon as possible, and many of them at the Newcastle location. InfoCision handles inbound and outbound customer service and sales calls for the nation's largest nonprofit and leading media and cell phone providers. Come join the InfoCision team that offers excellent benefits. You can call or stop in at 253 East Washington Street, Newcastle. InfoCision, the #1 call center company in the world.
Hello, I'm Angelo Parada, and welcome to Focus NC. Today I have Gail Young and Drew McDowell, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Women's Conference that's taking place at McKelvey Center or Hall at Westminster College. One of the things is, why don't you give us the date? I know we've been going over this on Newswatch, but first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to NCTV45. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the time and the date when this is going to take place?
Sure, Angela. Thank you for inviting us today. The date for the Lawrence County Women's Conference is Saturday, March the 12th, and that takes place at Westminster College at McKelvey Center from 9 a.m. until 2:30 p.m.
Now, how many years has this function gone on?
This is our 9th year for the Lawrence County Women's Conference, and it grew out of an idea from Georgia Berner, from Berner International. For a number of years, the governor would have the Women's Conference in Philadelphia or the Pittsburgh area, and it was very expensive to attend these conferences. And so Georgia wanted to have something local for women in Lawrence County where they can gain information to learn and grow and discover their gifts and talents.
That's fascinating, and you know, with Westminster boasting a lot of women getting into their STEM program, it's very encouraging. Now, can you tell us a little bit about maybe like some of the sponsors or some of the local women that are involved in business that will be there?
Sure, Angelo. As far as the sponsors are concerned, we were really excited because really without them driving this process, this conference would not be at the level that it is at the past couple years. And so we have some really strong sponsors with First Commonwealth Bank and with Berner International has supported the conference for several years. In addition to them this year, we also have a new sponsor, which we're excited to have, is Williams Cleveland Company. And then we also have Pizza Joe's, InfoCision, Gene Greco Accounting and Tax and Payroll Preparer. Strava Farm and Fiber Studio has been an ongoing sponsor every year. We also have Your Event Your Way and Divine Health Naturally. She's from the Harmony Zelienople area. New also this year is Farmers Insurance sponsoring us. So with these sponsors, we've been able to raise over $3,000 to help bring this program to the women of Lawrence County. And of course, it's not just Gail and I that do this program. We have a very strong committee of strong women that are engaged in the community, that have a lot of contacts and have a lot of, excuse me, have a lot of passion for delivering this conference in the capacity that we do. So I'm hoping I didn't leave anybody out, but with Gail and myself, we have Nicole Amabil, who is from the Crisis Shelter. She has been very instrumental on our committee the past several years, and she really leads the vendor committee, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, but she really heads that whole committee up. We also have Heather Armstrong and Robin Kane. Terry Stromba, who's a sponsor, she also serves on the committee. Jeanette Rice from the Child's Advocacy Center, Myra Thompson, and Darlene Unruh, who just recently retired from the United Way. And then with her replacement, Leslie Watson has joined us this year. And then we also have Meredith Eaton from InfoCision, Simone Lyles from Williams Cleveland, Anna Serrano from Your Event Your Way, and Samantha Brewer from the Eric Ryan Corporation in the Elwood City area, and then Julie Gabbis from On Target Printing, who helps us with a lot of our printing for the committee work as well.
That's fantastic and quite an impressive group.
It is.
Now, in the past, you've had guest speakers.
Yes.
Let's take a look at in the past and then build up to this year's guest speaker.
Okay, before we go into our speakers, I don't want to forget our in-kind sponsors, Westminster College for the facility, and also Duquesne University, who's been a partner with us for a number of years, providing their support.
Thanks for mentioning that alma mater. Appreciate that.
Yes, yes. So we couldn't have made it without them all these years.
You know, and I don't, it's interesting, and I do want to bring this up. I don't think a lot of people realize how blessed we are here in Lawrence County, because we're surrounded by a lot of good and great colleges and universities
Yes.
that sit around us,
Yes.
kind of like guarding the castle, and gives us the resources to be able to do those type of things. Now, who are some of the speakers in the past?
Last year, we had Dr. Julie Mangino, who's a local author, along with Barb Allen, who's also a local author. And we really focused on parenting last year. So they were excellent speakers to help new mothers and parents that are dealing with children that are afflicted with ADHD. So there were a lot of information that was distributed at the conference, and I know a lot of people were able to glean from there's speakers that we had last year. But we always have a variety of different speakers at the event. And some of the past programs included a fashion show, and that was coordinated by local stores in the downtown Newcastle area. Fashion makeovers, self-defense classes. That's very important for a young woman to know that information. Penn State partnered with us with the Master Gardener program. So there's something there for everybody at the Women's Conference. Whenever you look at some of the information that comes back, the criteria after the event, and they're always saying how there was something there that really changed their lives. You know, now that they can move into further into the direction where they feel that they can make a change or make a difference.
Now, I'm asking because I just wonder, do you have a lot of, or are there a lot of small business women entrepreneurs in the area? I know about Silk Road Market, and we had a tremendous conversation, and some of the things that lady does is wow.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Wendy.
That's a great question, Angelo. And Wendy has been a part of the conference for several years, and she typically is a vendor at the conference. So when we look at the small businesses that are in the area that are women-owned, I think years ago when the conference first started, the committee really tried to focus on women-owned businesses and women in business, women in leadership roles, and I think that has kind of come full circle. And now we don't just focus on women in business, women in leadership roles, or women in executive positions. We just focus on women in general.
Yes.
So where the conference may have communicated a lot of content that would help women in business. For instance, one year we did a panel discussion if you wanted to start a business. We had Christine Hughes from Duquesne University's SBDC,
Right.
who spoke about the importance of business planning and projections. And then I talked about different things that the bank looks at when you're looking at financing. And then Lynn Richardson from the Lawrence County Economic Development Corporation talked about different programs that they have available for lending as well. And then we wrapped that up with Linda Jaworski from First Merit, who talked about succession planning. So years ago, we used to really tailor it to women in business. And now we tailor it to just women in general. So when we look at our vendors, yes, we pull women from the community that have a business that makes their own product or has a product or service to sell. We don't do any home party distributors. We just really like to focus on the Silk Road Market, the Stramba Farm Fiber Mill. Again, a woman-owned business that's making a product, producing a product, and that's their livelihood. That's what they're turning around and selling.
Now, we have so much more to cover, and we're going to do that right after we hear from our sponsors.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. Are you a person on the go? Do you need snacks, cookies, maybe just a deli sandwich, lottery, or gas? It's Geno's in Mahoning Town for all your needs. Stop by Geno's and tell them NCTV45 sent you. Arlington Market, located at 726 Arlington Avenue, has all the great food you remember. Yes, their canned goods are fantastic and feature that old world taste. And meat, cheeses, produce, lunch meats, fresh cut meats, groceries, and so much more. It's Arlington Market. It'll make your table look spectacular.
Butts Flowers and Gifts offers top quality flower arrangements and gifts for any occasion. The pros at Butts Flowers and Gifts provide exceptional customer service, and each bouquet is hand arranged. Stop in and check out their wide selection of gift baskets and plants. They provide flower delivery service locally to Newcastle, Bessemer, Edinburgh, New Wilmington, West Pittsburgh, and across the nation. It's Butts Flowers at 120 East Washington Street in downtown Newcastle. Call 724-652-7727 or toll free 1-800-443-7726.
Greetings and welcome back to Focus NC, and we're talking to Gail and Drew about the 2016 Women's Conference. And can you tell us a little bit about what the agenda for the day is?
Sure. So we have, the conference goes, as Gail stated earlier, from 9 to 2:30. And with that being said, registration opens at 8 o'clock. So from 8 to 9, before the program actually starts, gives the women the opportunity to come in, enjoy breakfast, get registered, do some shopping with the vendors, and also some early networking. From there, the program usually gets handed over to Gail, where she does the welcome and introductions.
And this year we're going to open it up with Angie Urban and from New Visions, and she's going to talk about volunteering in Lawrence County. How do you get engaged? Where do you go if you'd like to volunteer your time? So she'll be opening up the conference with that. And we also have Beth Vittorano, who was the first female commissioner for Lawrence County, and she will be discussing women emerging into politics. Because once again, trying to get women, what are the steps they need to take to get started? How can I run for my county commissioner? Or how can I get involved with my borough, my township? So she's going to be enlightening us on some of those issues with politics. And then it's time for a break, so we're going to be stretching with Michelle Swager from the Newcastle Community Y. So she's going to be letting us know how we're getting more sedentary and how we need to move every once in a while to get up and stretch. So there's a lot of interesting things that will be happening at the Women's Conference.
That's great. And I hear, and there's going to be a fantastic lunch too.
Yes. Westminster, I will tell you that working with Nick from Westminster, he manages the Sodexo, who's the caterer exclusively for Westminster. He is phenomenal to work with. And lunch every year has been a pretty big hit, so we haven't changed it. We have a really nice salad selection with grilled chicken and pasta.
With your favorite topping.
Yeah, favorite toppings. And then dessert, they have these die for blondie brownies.
Yes.
That are delicious. And the scones in the morning are delicious too.
Yeah.
So definitely for $25.
The food is fabulous.
It's just worth the breakfast. It's just, if you pay the $25 for breakfast and lunch, it's well worth it.
Yes.
There you go. Now, I understand that Beth Caldwell is your guest speaker this year.
She is, Angelo, and it's kind of quite interesting, I think, how Beth came to us in Lawrence County because she's from the Pittsburgh area, and Gail and I both belong to, along with about 40 other women, we belong to a group called Women Connect of Lawrence County. And last year, one of the ladies in the group, one of the younger ladies in the group, decided to take on a meeting. And when you take on a meeting, what you're responsible for is finding the location and getting the RSVPs together. And we don't really usually have guest speakers at those meetings. And for some reason, everybody thinks I'm in charge of that group, and I'm not.
She does a great job.
But it was a young lady by the name of Tiffany, and she had approached me about having Beth speaking at the dinner meeting. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, because we don't really do that. And, women are expected to come in and network and eat, and go home. We don't really have a speaker. But she was so adamant about having her come up and present to us. She had been to her workshop and was just so motivated and inspired after she listened to her. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know, I guess, it's your meeting, we'll see how it works. And I'll never forget that meeting was at Sony's. And I happened to be the first person that got there other than Beth. And I'll never forget, I kind of was like, I was just grumpy. I was having a bad day. And I'll never forget walking in the door, and Beth was walking out the door to get some stuff out of her car. And she greeted me with the biggest, joyous smile. And she just looked at me and said, hi. She goes, I think you're probably here for my meeting. I'm Beth Caldwell. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm Drew. Nice to meet you. And I just proceeded to go in and take my coat off, sit down, and relax. And Beth spoke very highly of First Commonwealth Bank in her presentation. Even though her and I had never met, she just spoke very highly when she was referencing a lot of things, spoke very highly about First Commonwealth. And I thought, boy, shame on me. I kind of gave her the cold shoulder and just like went in right past her, and that was it. And from that day on, I feel like she's my my inspiration for some things that I want to do. And so we've become very close. And I had asked her, hey, I'd love for you to present at the Women's Conference, and you have so much talent and such an extensive background, and would love to have you as our keynote speaker. And she said, let me check my calendar. And she looked, she goes, yep, I'm good, I'm in. And so that's how we got to know Beth, I think,
Yes.
here in Lawrence County. And so we're really excited, because as I mentioned about her background, she is she's a writer and a columnist for Pittsburgh Business Times and Pittsburgh Magazine Journal. And she also founded Pittsburgh Professional Women and the Leadership Academy for Women. In addition to doing all of that, she also works as a coach and a mentor and a motivational speaker for the Steve Harvey Institute. So she brings a lot of wealth and knowledge, and I know the women of Lawrence County are really excited to hear what she presents. Her keynote presentation will be Weathering Life's Storms, where she's going to talk about some of the ups and downs that she's had in her personal life. And when I talked to her just last week to get her commitment on what topic, because she has several topics to speak about, and she gave me the list, and I said, Beth, what's Weathering Life's Storms? She goes, oh, I don't really ever talk about that one. She goes, I can if you want me to. And I said, well, what's it about? She was like, well, it's a lot of personal references, and it's teary, and, it'll leave people motivated and inspired. I said, let's do that one. So I think it'll really touch the heart to all the women that are in attendance. Mm-hmm. And so we're just really excited to hear, everybody likes to hear somebody's personal journey because they may have been in the same spot as them. And then to hear how they came out of that and what they did is very inspirational. So excited to hear what she has to say.
Now, there's so much more we're going to cover. Right after we return And we're going to take a moment to hear from these great sponsors.
The Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle wants you to indulge in the food from their pleasing menu. The Cedars features Mediterranean, pub food, Middle Eastern cuisine, and so much more. They're open every day 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Call the Cedars on the east side at 827 Addis Street, Newcastle. 724-658-9543. That's 724-658-9543.
I am never getting married. Ever. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the numbers in life, talk to State Farm agent Michael Joseph in Newcastle. State Farm is there.
Come dine with us, come dine today. If you could use some real good food, there's a place not far away. If you could use a drink or two, or a place to go and play, come to Gallows Italian Villa today.
Welcome back to Focus NC, and we're talking about the Women's Conference, and I have Gail and Drew McDowell here. Let's cover the agenda a little bit more and kind of talk about the day.
Sure, Angelo. So as Gail had mentioned, the first couple speakers, and before we get to lunch and our keynote, in addition to the stretching with Michelle, there will be a break networking and shopping available for the women. So if they don't want to stretch, there's always opportunity to do some shopping with the local vendors. Michelle Goodman-Jones is returning. This is probably her 9th year.
Yes.
She's been at every conference, and she is a absolute riot. The women absolutely love her. Her presentation is always very engaging, and this year she's going to talk about fashion and etiquette updates for 2016.
I love her. She is so great, and you know, she's moved into the Temple building.
Yes.
From being over in the Kirkcotton building, and just a phenomenal person. We have many great conversations, and that's a real treasure there.
It is, thank you. After Michelle's presentation, we will do door prizes, and what we do is all 13 vendors provide a gift, and so we'll give those away in addition to some other gifts that we have. And then we're going to do a really fun networking exercise that I'm excited about. I spent some extensive time researching something different that people may have never seen before. So we're excited for that. And then that'll take us to lunch and our keynote with Beth. And then after that, we're going to have, just while they clean up the tables and stuff, we're going to do another break, networking and shopping. But we're also going to have Anastasia Constant, who's local from the area here, who's going to introduce us to belly dancing.
And the benefits of belly
Yes.
And that was another person that was on one of our Focus NCs in Newcastle, Lawrence County Living, as she, and a lot of people might not know, that she arranged the Holly Jolly Holiday Tour right here in downtown Newcastle.
Yes.
She did. Very successful tour.
Yes. In addition to the rest of the agenda, we will have a panel discussion that will be led by Simone Lyles from William Cleveland Company. And that panel will consist of, the topic will be life variables for women. So on that panel, we'll have Anita McKeever representing the Lawrence County Builders Association, Leanne Felina, who is a local attorney. We'll have Janice Hassan from the Penn State Extension, and then we'll also have Chrissy Varensky, who is a certified financial planner. And that's kind of going to be a modge podge of discussion, again, variables for women in general, all different stages of their life.
Exactly. We're going to look at how to hire a contractor. Just little things that come up in life. So we're going to pass some information on so that they can be secure and when they're going out to get hire a contractor. So that's something that we're going to be looking at that panel.
We kept a very engaging speaker for our last topic. She's coming to us from the South Hills of Pittsburgh, and her name is Ann Fleming. She's very familiar with Lawrence County. She worked for several years in Elwood City, and she is the owner of womendrivers.com. And what her company does is they seek feedback from women in the nation, actually, because it's a nationwide company. But there are actually women certified car dealerships, and her topic will be put yourself in the driver's seat, empowered, smart, satisfied. So she's going to talk about different things like, you're a woman going into a car lot to buy a car. What do you look for? What do you need to know? How do you negotiate? You need to get your car serviced. What's the best place to go get it serviced? How are the dealerships ranked? So just all kind of valuable information that really we've never had brought to us here in Lawrence County before.
Yes.
That is a super agenda. And once again, want to tell them where the conference is being held?
Yes, that's going to be Saturday, March 12th at Westminster Collage, McKelvey Center. And we encourage everyone to grab a friend and come out to the event. There's so much information that can help you in every area or aspect of your life. So we encourage you, no matter what your age is, please come out. And we have a woman from all ages. And the surveys that we get coming back after the event are so positive about the event, the food, the vendors that we have, just the variety that we have at the conference.
And I'm glad you did say that, for all ages,
Yes.
because somebody might feel it's for a younger group, somebody might feel it's for an older group, and that opens the doors to a lot of people.
We found a few years ago, Angela, when we started implementing the surveys, I think it was the first year I came on board.
Yes.
So this would be the third year that we would have survey information available. And what we found with the age groups was the majority of our attendees were falling within a 40 to 65 age range. But last year, because we again had so much sponsor participation, we were able to do a lot more advertising for the conference, and so we were able to reach out to a lot of women. And last year we had a great variety. We had two older women out of that range that I remember saying, I never came before because I thought this was for younger people, and now I'm glad I came and I can't wait to come back next year. And on that same token, if you saw the press release in the Newcastle News on Monday, there's a picture of Ginny Jacobs, who is the administrative assistant at the Tourist Promotion Agency. She attended last year and had some of her friends that were younger in age, below that age range. And again, same thing, they were so impressed, couldn't believe that they hadn't come before, and can't wait again for this year's conference.
There you go. That sounds like an exciting time out at Westminster College, and we wish you the best of luck, and would like to thank you for coming to NCTV45 and giving us that information on this show, Focus NC, on the Women's Conference. Thanks, and we wish you a great conference. Have a great... Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angelo.
Thank you. Have a great time, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Focus NC.
There's more than meets the eye. You gotta give them a Newcastle a try. The right small town for living. Look around.
Tuscany Square Restaurant, 3470 Wilmington Road, where old world charm meets today's modern conveniences. You'll enjoy their spacious, comfortable seating, their fresh ingredients that go into making every dish, whether it's pizza or that just right entree. Tuscany Square Restaurant, they're here to serve you. Call 724-654-3065.
Yes, friends, Chilella and Carney Floral Designs is alive and well in Newcastle. Owner and designer Stephen Doherty and his staff have a special motto: we love what we do, and it shows in every area of the business. Stop by their pleasant Southside store at 1006 South Mill Street. Chilella and Carney has been there for the community with quality and service since 1943. You can go to the website chilellaandcarney.com or call 724-652-8412.
The Beanery Depot and Deli. Coffee, made-to-order subs, snacks, and more. Meatball sandwiches, fresh and hot. Pepperoni rolls, fish sandwiches, chicken, milkshakes. The Beanery Deli. When you're hungry for something special, and it won't cost you a lot of beans. Yes, I'm in Mr. Pizza. Hi, we're here with
Sydney.
and it looks like you girls have had a great lunch. Can you tell me what you have, Sydney?
The ham and cheese sub.
Oh, today's special. What did you have?
I had pepperoni pizza and part of the ham and cheese sub, and they were both very good.
Hey, it's always best when you get your food and somebody else's. And here at Mr. Pizza, what a great time. Stop down, check out the special. Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station.